Greetings from Podcastville. It's Monday, the 18th of January. Uncle Joey's Joint is brought to you by motherfucking DraftKings. If there's a week to place a bet, this is the week. You got my man Dustin Poirier against the Irish fucking mallet of death, Conor McGregor. They step back into the ring Saturday night. Now, if you want a piece of history, go to DraftKings. Why? Because they're the official betting partner of the UFC. And this weekend, they got a deal that no one else could match. Are you ready for this? Just for UFC 257, don't get carried away. It's your shot at turning $1 into $257. That's right. You're like, Joey, how can I pick up the 257? Here we go. You bet $1 on McGregor to win by knockout in the first round. And if he does, you're cashing in 257. You bet a little, you win a lot. You know how we do it at DraftKings, but don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted because we're still in the middle of NBA playoffs next weekend and NBA basketball at night. So head to DraftKings right now. Today, it's Monday. Let's get the party started right. You already fucked up 3 Mondays in January. You're not going to fuck up this Monday. Go to DraftKings and download the Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code Joey. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to sign up to turn $1 into $257 if McGregor wins by first round knockout. Place your bet, watch the fight, put up your feet, smoke a number, have mama lick your balls. But like I said, you got NBA and you got the NFL playoffs next weekend. I could walk you through how you can fucking walk away. You got that 257 and you got 4 other NFL games. Who's better than you? 4 or 2? 2, 4, who gives a fuck? You're making money, cocksucker. So if you haven't tried DraftKings yet, today's your lucky day. Download the DraftKings Sports app now. Use promo code Joey when you sign up for $157 to win if McGregor wins by first round knockout. Place your bet, watch the fight, relax. That's code Joey for new players to get $257 if McGregor wins by first round knockout. For a limited time only at DraftKings. But hey, the party starts tonight, Monday night. TNT got 3 fucking games on tonight. And one of them's got a line that's so fucking soft, anybody could see through it. Before you download the app, do me a favor. This is the part the lawyers make me say. You got to be 21, cocksucker. Go draw a picture. Indiana, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Colorado. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. You got a gambling problem? Let's take care of it. There's help. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And if you're in Indiana, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. But if you got no fucking problems, let's go, cocksuckers. It's time to download the DraftKings Sports app. Use code Joey and cash in on this deal. And this is Saturday. I'm going to make you a G-note before fucking Saturday. And it starts tonight with 3 games on TNT. The joint is also brought to you by ExpressVPN. Listen, I think by now you've already seen everything on fucking Netflix, even the Spanish shit. But with ExpressVPN, you can trick the computer into thinking you're in a different country. And you'll be able to watch just about anything in the fucking world. I think it's called the dark web. Ooh. You already know a VPN will protect your privacy online, but it's taken my TV watching game to the next level. My wife uses it all the fucking time. She likes all those English movies. Unlock movies and TV shows that are only available in other countries. And if it works on any service in over 100 countries, Netflix, Amazon, YouTube, BBC, you name it. Listen, like I said, my wife watches all those international shows. She fucking lives with VPN. She loves it. VPN, ExpressVPN is ridiculously fast. It streams in HD. There's no fucking buffering. What else do you need here? Use my special link right now. The joint, expressvpn.com/Joey. Again, expressvpn.com/Joey. And you get an entire 3 months for free. An extra 3 months for free. Support the joint, watch what you want, and protect your privacy, which is the most important thing at expressvpn.com DraftKings.com/Joey. So right now, you just downloaded the DraftKings app. Now go download the expressvpn.com/Joey and watch fucking horror movies. Watch fucking midgets getting their fingers cut off. You can watch whatever the fuck you want to watch. Go to expressvpn.com/Joey. I want to thank ExpressVPN and I want to thank DraftKings. Let's get this party started, you bad motherfuckers. It's Monday morning, a beautiful day to be alive.
Hey, how you doing? Come on in. Yeah, Joey's in the back.
Hey, look who it is. What's happening, cocksuckers?
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? Monday morning, Uncle Joey here, feeling tip-top. Magoo, thank you for all the well wishes and everybody checking in on the knee. It's doing great, man. I'm way ahead of schedule. I actually walked up steps. I got a 90-degree angle on my bend. I've been having PT. You know, every night I get a call. Hello, is this Mr. Diaz? We will be over tomorrow at 10 o'clock. They come over, they walk me, they beat me to death. I'm doing really well on the medication, guys, between CBD Lion, the Tylenol 650 milligrams, and the oxys they gave me. I fucking alternate them around. And you know what? I was a little panicking because I was running out of them because they told me to take 2 every fucking 6 hours. But I was getting too fucked up. And I was getting too fucked up. They lower my blood pressure, those things. Tuesday morning, thank God, my wife came down in the middle of the night to check on me. She fucking woke me up. She's like, you're sweating up a storm. I had to take off my sweatshirt, take off my t-shirt, and she checked my blood pressure. She had to give me like fucking salted taffy to bring me back up again. So I was like, you know what? They sent me new prescriptions, and I've been using. The only time I really use the oxys, you know when you need them for? At night, because you don't want to wake up at 4 in the morning to pee and be in that type of pain. You'll never fucking fall asleep again. So I've been, like I said, I've been doing my own pain management. So I rub some CBD on. I take some CBD gummies in the daytime. I had 2 boxes of them. I might as well start eating those motherfuckers. They're 10 calories a piece. They've been great in the daytime. Then at night I use the tincture, which gives me a little bit more. I could pump in 5,000 milligrams under the tongue. I got some grape flavored tincture that fucking tastes great. So that was my main concern going into the surgery. I know everybody's concern is he going to go off the fucking reservation with the pain medication. Thank God I'm not a fan. And I knew that. I pretty much tapered off. I started tapering off on Friday. So it's fucking Monday. I feel great. That irkiness you get from Norcos, like all that little weird feeling like if you're living in the Twilight Zone.
Agitated?
No, I'm not agitated.
I mean, when you come down.
Yeah, you could tell I'm not agitated. I've been fucking great. Listen, man, I'm 58. I don't expect, what do you expect to be tap dancing the next fucking day? I don't expect that at all. It's going to be some hard fucking work. I got, today's my last fucking home therapy session this afternoon. This afternoon I get my stitches taken out. And Wednesday I start at my buddy's fucking physical therapy place. So I'm going right from one place right to the other. You know, I didn't Google this surgery. I usually Google everything. You know, I'm a half a fag. But I learned the hard way when my wife was having a baby. I Googled women having babies at 43. And holy fuck, it was the worst pregnancy of my life because I basically thought she was going to fucking die on the table. So I said, you know what? If I read anything about this knee surgery before I fucking have the surgery, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to fucking cancel it because I'll get too scared. So I think Tuesday, Wednesday, I started Googling and I went to WebMD, what to expect from your knee surgery, recovery time, exercises, and I've been taking it fucking seriously. So right now, in my mind, I still have a little pain. I still walk funny. I need the fucking stroller to walk, the whole thing, the crutches. But in their mind, I'm fucking way ahead of schedule. So that makes me feel fucking great. So for you guys wondering, thank you for all your support with the knee stuff. Last week we talked about accusations, about what it takes to accuse somebody and what it feels like when you get accused. I really, really thought about it all week. It's been something that's been on my mind for almost a year, since all this shit started. How does an accusation start? You know, how do you get it confirmed? You know, was somebody, well, I called my girlfriend when I got home. That's not good enough. You know, that's just not fucking good enough, you know. There's just so many fucking things. When the other night, I have a dear friend that comes over here a lot and sits with me at night and watches football. I mean, when I talk about with dear friends, I'm talking about, let's say I go back with him when I'm 13. And in fact, he gave me Led Zeppelin, The Song Remains the Same, with the Allman Brothers live from the Fillmore on 8-track. Like it was somebody's different 8-track. And he recorded 2 albums over it, you know, like 2 albums over the 8-track. So he gave me that when I was like 13. So, you know, for years I would see him and go, "You're the motherfucker." But him and I were tight friends. When I was 13, he would, you know, I think he's 60 now. So we started hanging out when I was about 13. You know, he had 2 younger brothers, and I hung out by his house. And as I got older, he got his driver's license, and he was always a clean guy. You know, he always was going to be a fucking cop. But he had a friend that dealt weed. He wasn't one of those guys that was, you know, uptight about being a cop. He just wanted to obey the law, you know. And he turned me on to a guy that me and him ended up being good friends and selling weed for years and whatever. That doesn't matter. But the other night, Rayo came over, and as he was leaving, he picked up a picture of Anthony Balzano. I don't know if you guys, I do the album of the week on Patreon. And I did a segment about Kiss. And I actually showed a picture of a friend of mine who had died in the 8th grade. I had gotten this picture from his dad before his dad died about 5 years ago. And I got the picture about 20 years ago. And at first I started using it in my wallet because he was my best friend. And I figured if I had my best friend that close to me, but I didn't want to lose my wallet and I'd lose that picture, and I never knew. So I just left it at home, and I did like an altar for him and all my other buddies. And the other night I had the picture of him out, and Joe Rail was leaving, and his wife was here, and my wife was downstairs in the basement. And Joe Rail picked up the picture of Anthony, and he looks at my wife, and he goes, "Look how good looking your husband was in the 8th grade. And I go, "Sorry, but that's Anthony." He goes, "That's amazing. I forgot how much you guys looked alike. Like, we were like fucking twins when we were kids." They called us both Pepper Nose, you know, because we both had big noses and we were skinny. He would lose his mind when you called him Pepper Nose. Me, I didn't even give a fuck. They had been calling me Spick for 2 years prior. Pepper Nose was a fucking break. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, who gives a fuck about Pepper Nose? You just been calling me Spick for 2 years, so I didn't give a fuck. Him and I were really good friends. And, you know, he died in the 8th grade, and it really took a chunk out of who I was. Till this day, I still think a lot about Anthony. 40 fucking 8th grade, you know. May of 78, this fucking kid died. But one thing Joe said to my wife, you know, Joe was like, "Wow, now I remember how much you guys look alike." And one thing Joe was saying, he goes, "One thing I remember about you guys is that you guys were fucking tight." Like, he goes, "You guys had a fucking huge crew down there." Guys, when I thought when I lived on 48th Street, I had like a rolling tough crew. When I moved to North Bergen in 73, it took me a couple of years to go out. But once I went out, I attracted a crew that we were some hard-hitting little fucking kids. We weren't bad kids. Big difference. We were just hard-hitting kids. We played everything. We played in the woods. We just did everything there was to do. We hustled. We went down to the train tracks. This is before the Meadowlands was even built. And we used to cut fucking punks and sell them door to door. Punks are sticks that you light on fire and it gets rid of mosquitoes and shit. It's like that mosquito spray, only you gotta light them on fire and shit. I mean, we just did crazy things, you know. We were robbing trains. There was a year there where I didn't even know who the fuck I was. I just went to martial arts and hung out with these kids. But the one thing did stand. I don't know how many of us there were. Just off the top of my head, myself, Dominic Special, Michael Special, Valentine Ferro. This was just on my block. Then on Charles Court, you had Sabatino, Dean Altman. You had the four brothers that the Balzanos beat up the first time with the sister. You had Pronge, the two guys, the two kids who the father was the Iceman's assistant. You had Alona Mertens. You had the fucking Arizes. I mean, you had so many kids. I forget what this Italian kid's name was. I thought he was a fucking psychic. And my mother wanted me to kill him because he gave my mother the wrong information on a basketball game one time. You know, you just had so many fucking kids. And we lived and died for one another. We were out there all day playing. And those girls, I still remember those girls, we were all tight. In fact, till today, we're talking about running with somebody in 76, 75. Today, I still talk to Lisa, Gina, Marjorie, Grace Savoya. I still talk to so many girls from that area because we were so tight that Joanne Kellett, there was no sex. We were kids. The only thing we did that was wrong was we played buck-buck. I don't know if you guys know what buck-buck is. Buck-buck is some guy gets against a wall and then some guy holds on to his waist with his head going that way, and then everybody holds each other's waist, and you create like a human chain. So let's say you have 8 people bent over like they're going to take it in the ass. I don't know if you've ever seen this game. So it's 8 people bent over like they're going to take it in the ass, holding on to each other with a guy standing on the wall. He's called the pillow. And then let's say you have 6 people on a team. They have a team of 7. Okay? So it's 7 people against 6 bent over because the 7th guy is the pillow. He's holding and he's coaching. He's telling you, hold on, Mike. Don't bust, you fuck. Because what people usually do. So what you do is you take a run and jump. You come running like 20 fucking... like 20 feet. You take like a run and jump. And then there's one guy bent over. You push off of him and you fly into the air until you land on somebody. So let's say our goal is to land on Mike. We know Mike has bad knees. Our plan is, listen, everybody land on Mike. Mike can't hold all of us up. So then, boom, boom, we land on Mike. The next guy goes, he lands on me. Now I got like 3 guys on top of me. I'm punching Mike. I'm squeezing Mike's ears. Mike's like, I don't mind people on top of me, but why are people poking my eyes out and all this shit? We were kids. We weren't really poking each other's eyes out. We were just like smacking each other and shit like this. No big fucking deal. So this is the only thing we did. Then the girls got involved. Once the girls were like, we want to play. We're like, girls, I hope you know what we're going into because your tits are going to be squeezed, all that shit. And they're like, as long as you're not rough with us, we don't give a fuck. I think the girls played with us like 2 or 3 times. And one day they got together and said, fuck you guys. You guys, I think we ripped off a girl's tit. We almost ripped off a tit because you have to land on that. They also had so here are these girls playing buck-buck, and now they're bent over holding on to another girl, and men are landing on top of them. And we have to break the chain. So all we would do, the worst thing we would do to those girls in those days was like pull their hair, and they'd be like, ow, who's the fucking faggot that's pulling my hair? When I get out of this, I'm gonna fucking kill you, you fucking queer and all this. We would just, that's the worst thing we did to those girls. If we bought a 4-pack of wine coolers, they got beers. If we bought beers, they got beers. If we had weed, do you think I would still talk to Lisa, Gina, Marjorie, and Grace if we weren't tight with those girls growing up? We were super tight with them. Whatever we did at night, when we went over, like the Hill to Union City and West New York, we would always take them with them, and we'd watch their fucking back. We had a girl, Kathy, God rest her soul, I was tight with. I mean, we were all fucking tight. Okay. I moved to McKinley in 73. I go to Sacred Heart School for Boys, but I don't actually go to McKinley until 6th grade comes. Now, I don't have to tell you how I felt. First day of school, I knew some people, but most importantly, I knew Anthony already. So I knew nobody was going to fuck with me. Anthony was in the class. I was in the 6th grade. Anthony was in the 5th grade. Anthony had a brother who was in the 6th grade named Jimmy. I was tight with him too. And he had a brother in the 8th grade named Political Pete. I was tight with him too, and he had a brother older than him, Big Frank. I was tight with him too, but my main dog was Anthony. Me and Anthony were together every day. Me and Anthony were already doing like little scams, like betting. We would I don't know. We didn't do nothing big time. We'd rob like a bag of concrete. We were just kids. We're just two faggy fucking kids. I loved him dearly. He loved me, and brother, we were together every day. It was two things. When I walked home from school, he lived a block still north from me. We had two options. Either I would go to his house, or I would wait at the bottom of my corner, and he would walk towards me, and we would go to Charles Court or Liberty Avenue or wherever we were going to fucking play, or 38th Street Court. 38th Street Court already was dominated by older kids. There was 12 of us, 10 of us, but we didn't want to mess with the kids at the park because they were older, they were drinking already, they wouldn't bully us, they would just torture us, make us fucking play basketball with them and foul us and all this shit. No big fucking deal. All right, to make a long story short, in the 7th grade, I finished my 6th grade year, and I go to the 7th grade, and I had a teacher named Earl Kingwell. Earl Kingwell was a very, very good teacher. He was a scumbag, but looking at Earl Kingwell today, the reason I like reading is because of Earl. Earl was a little heavy with his hands. He smacked a few students, and he got beat up for it. There's 1,000 stories I could tell about Earl, but this ain't about Earl today. Earl was rough on me in the 7th grade. I don't know what it was. I'm not saying I think he was heavy with me because he saw the potential in me. He saw I wasn't a stupid kid. And going into the 7th grade, I had no problems with school at all. Never had a problem with school. But then something happens to little boys in the 7th and 8th grade. I fell in love. I fell in love with this girl. I don't know how it happened. I never had interest in girls. I thought girls were always beautiful. I thought about the day I would go on a date and, shit like that. But at that time, I wasn't looking for a girlfriend or nothing. I hung out with this kid. His name was Albie. We were both speed demons. Our connection was we rode bicycles and, we rode motorcycles. And at night, we'd all walk up the hill. Eddie Lamenka, Mario Arias, Albie, just all of us were into motorcycles. We were just innocent, stupid kids. Anthony, Frankie, Pete Balzano. We were into motorcycles. And every night we'd walk up 38. That's how we ended our night. After all the basketball, all the football, all the fucking, running up and down hills, at night we'd meet. And instead of getting high those days, we'd walk up 38th Street to Carvel. And we'd get a cone or a chocolate shake. I'm talking about 10, 12 of us. And then we'd go to a Kawasaki dealer. There was a Kawasaki dealer on 39th and Kennedy Boulevard. And we'd basically go to jerk off all over each other. You know what I'm saying? Someday I'm going to have that bike. We're not going to get shit. None of us are going to buy shit. I had the ability to buy shit because I would just make money at my mother's bar. At the time, I probably had a YZ80. Not Kawasaki, I think Suzuki made a YZ80. Don't quote me on this, or tweet me if you do know the exact ones. It doesn't matter. Again, we were all very tight, and then one thing happened one day. Boom. I go to Albie's house, and he's got the cutest sister in the world. She's in the 7th grade. She's in the other class, and I don't know. I think maybe January or February, we used to all go roller skating on Sundays. Like a bunch of fags at the Paramus Mall. We would all get together and go roller skating. Kids, I did it all. I don't want you to think that I did it all. 10, 12, 15 of us, a parent, 2, 3 cars, one parent had a station wagon or whatever. And I just kind of took a liking to her. And I drew up the fucking mustard. You know, I drew up. I got her like flowers one day, and I asked her if she wanted to be my girlfriend, and she said she had to talk to her family. I was like, what the fuck did I get myself involved into? She talked to her family. Her family said, yes, you could be her boyfriend. You could start by doing little things, going to the movie theaters, and taking the grandmother, which I've talked about how much I fucking hate it to this day. It was the only time I did it with. It was the only woman I did it with, and I felt just fucking like a fag. But it was old Cuban tradition. So I took her, I don't know, I wish I remembered what stupid movie we went to see, and the grandmother came. I think I took her to like 2 or 3 movies, and the grandmother came. And then, since I was friends with the brother, I was allowed to go over to the house. And the deal was this. We were going to just kiss and make out, no sex. And then June, before the 8th grade, announced that we were a couple. You know, right away, I don't know. I felt something weird. Why do we have to hide and all this shit? You know, you already went to your family and told them. They kind of like giggled at us. We were too young. You know, she was into Donnie and Marie. And on Friday nights, I would go over there and watch Donnie and Marie. And then I smartened up and I'm like, fuck you, Donnie and Marie. I'm staying at home and watching Red Fox, Sanford and Son, and fucking the show with Freddie Prince. I forget what the name of it is. Chico and the Man, you know. Anyway, none of this really matters. I'm just giving you background on what happened. So June of whatever year that was comes, and she comes to me and says, you know, I've been thinking about it. I don't think I'm ready to have a boyfriend yet. And I'm heartbroken. I was never in love with a girl before. I'm fucking heartbroken. I fucking, you know, fall to pieces like Velvet Revolver. I just, you know, I don't know how to take it. But what had also happened throughout the year was that I had fallen in love with her so much that I didn't do anything else. I didn't go to karate. I didn't work on my math. I didn't work on my geography. I didn't work on a lot of things. I barely read. I was in love. I was in love head over heels. What do you want, man? I was a stupid romantic. And in the meantime, my grade slipped. My mom didn't know. Not only did she wasn't going to date me, but I also had to go to summer school. That didn't stop me. If you guys know anything about me, that didn't stop me. I, you know, got on my hands and knees and prayed to her that she would fucking, you know, please reconsider being my girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. And we still messed around. We had never had sex. Let's get that straight. We kissed and I sucked her titties maybe. And that was it. One day she really looked at me and said, look, because we got caught playing hooky and my mother went off on her. And it was just a lot for both families. She didn't like, my mother called her a whore and shit in Spanish. My mother called her mother a whore. It was just not bueno for everybody here. So we decided just to break up. We were like, listen, this is causing too much problem. I immediately was heartbroken. I think I stayed home for a week and I had to reprioritize. Not only that, I failed summer school. I didn't fail summer school. I played hooky from summer school to be with her, and I thought that Carmine could cover it up and help me out. I ended up getting fucking left back. You have no idea how bad I feel. Listen to all these words I'm telling you, because you're going to have to make a decision at the end of this. I got left back, so now I got left back. I got no girlfriend. My friends are laughing at me behind my back. Not Anthony, you know. I had tight friends, and they're like, hey, man, it happens. Fuck that shit. You'll get another girlfriend, you know? And I'm like, I don't want no other girlfriend. I want Nikki, you know. I'm a fucking half a fag. I'm a Catholic kid. At that time, I had been in a couple fights, but I really believed I would never, ever do anything bad. You know, like at that time, I just didn't have it. I didn't have any anger in my heart or anything like that. So I sucked it up, guys. I went to summer school. I got thrown out for attendance, and then I realized that I was going to get left back anyway. I took my lumps. I avoided going to Charles Court. I said, that's it. I can't go to Charles Court for a while because I'm too in love with her. I want to get over her. And I dove into basketball. Head fucking first. Going into seventh grade, my second time, that's all I had. I wanted to play basketball. I loved going to karate. I redove myself into karate. And I fucking rededicated myself to the books. I was back. I had Miss Walsh in the 8th grade. I went in there and talked to her. She spoke to me and told me, that we'll be watching you if you fall behind or have any problems. This doesn't have nothing to do with it. But I'm fine. I get over her. I'm playing basketball. I'm back in the groove of things. Don't get me wrong. It must have taken me 90 days to get over her. Maybe, let's say October, November, I'm over her. I see her every day at school. We kind of talk. And I was friends with her brother. So, you know what, man? I had to push it aside. At that early age, in the 7th grade, the second time, I had to learn that, this is part of breaking up with people. You have to move on, and that's it. So we immediately became friends. She was a cheerleader on the basketball team. There was no getting away from her. We just became friends again. And this time we were just friends. She was becoming a beautiful girl in the 8th grade. And in the 7th grade, I still wasn't really dating. That had taken the fucking wind out of my sails. I did become a fan of classic love songs, Baby Come Back, any kind of fool could see there was something, all that type of pop, all that shit I became a fan of, and I dedicated to her. But somewhere along the line, I just got over her. I got so involved in basketball. I wanted our teams to be so good. I got so involved with hanging out with Anthony and his family and Dominic Special. You know what? Nicky went away. Whatever. So the winter came. And went, and then the spring came. Right? What comes after the winter? The spring, right? So the spring comes. At this time, I'm still a speed demon. I got a motorcycle. I've got a 10-speed. I've got one of those bikes that just you go like this, the sissy bar, whatever the fuck, and the high thing, and I'll be ride around like those fucking dudes you see on all the gang movies and shit. Like my Debo bike. I had a Debo bike, right? Debo died, right? Debo, the guy from Friday. Mm-hmm. When he had a bike. I had a couple different bikes. Well, turns out the kid next door to me, Valentine Farrow, was a tremendous, and I mean, again, another nice, sweet kid. He didn't even know what he was doing, but he just liked working on bikes. You could bring him a bicycle, and he would fucking take the whole thing apart. I mean, he was brilliant. He knew shit that I didn't even think of knowing. He could take the insides of a fucking rim apart and tell you where the fucking ball bearings were slipping. And I mean, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But just learning with him and sitting with him, I learned little things. He would say, I'm not just going to do it to you for free. You're going to have to meet him with the same fucking age. He would be fucking way ahead of me, blah, 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 blah. And he would fix up these bicycles. Between you and me, the Gizzies, Doug Jimenez, all these kids were stealing bicycles. And they would bring them to Gibbonhead Terrace. And we'd buy them, $3, $4, $10, $5. And then our goal was for Valentine to do work on them. And we'd take them up to Union City and sell. That was our little scam at the side. Me, Anthony, Valentine, all of us. That was our little scam. So I think Charlie Gizzy and Doug Jimenez brought us 3 bikes a week. And we'd redo, I'd go buy a can of primer, spray paint. You had to take the VIN number off the bicycle. So you either we had a fucking, oh my God, it wasn't a VIN number, it was like a 10-digit identification number. Like when you first bought a bicycle those days, if you were a decent kid, you used to have to go down to the police station and get the bicycle registered. I don't know if you know this. Back when people were decent and things were decent, as soon as you got a bicycle, you were instructed to go to the police station. How fucking much times have changed. You were instructed to go to the police station and fucking register your name, and they would give you like a sticker. Don't steal this bike. Fuck you. Those are the first ones you stole. You know, because people felt secure with the sticker. Like, it was like a restraining order. Like, he's not going to hit me. Next thing you know, you're OJ's wife on the concrete floor, right? No, it's the truth. Because people think, oh, I got a restraining order. I'm safe. Yeah. See how many people have died with restraining orders. Don't believe the hype. But all these kids believed that they had the fucking... if they had this little gold sticker from North Bergen Police Department or West New York Police Department or whatever police department, your bike wasn't going to get stolen. You were done. We had the fucking stuff to take the fucking sticker off, and then Valentine figured out some chemical to take the adhesive off so you wouldn't still see the sticker. Then we would sand it down, and then there was a kid next to him, Clemens. That family had fleas. Like, they all had, what do you call that shit? When everybody has to have a crew cut?
Lice?
Lice. They all had lice. So you had to, like, fucking stay. We got a social distance from him 50 fucking years ago. I swear to kid. The Clemens, everybody had lice. It was well known in the neighborhood. In fact, the white kids would tell the other white kids, hey, Clemito tiene piojo. That means that he's got bugs. Even the white kids learn how to speak Spanish to code other white kids about the Clemenses. And the Clemenses were a nice family. But Michael Clemens was the shit when it came to a bicycle, and so was Valentine Ferro. So they could whip up a bicycle within 2 fucking days. A bicycle wouldn't... You could bring it. You could bring a fucking microscope. I don't give a fuck. You still couldn't tell that was your fucking bicycle. That's how good these two fucking morons were at doing bicycles. So I lived right next door to them. I was neighbors with Valentine Ferro, and next to Valentine Ferro was Michael Clemens. So every time my garage door would open, I'm exaggerating here, 3 days a week, I would have either Michael Clemens or Valentine. They would already be outside with the bicycle upside down. You ever see those guys? The bicycle's upside down, and they're spinning it, and they're putting fucking oil on the thing. Oh, dog, every time I went out of the house, let's fucking, just for the chase, just for the clarity, let's just assume they did it 4 times a week. So every time I would go out, I'd go, wow, you got a new bike. And he would fucking be going, look at these rims. And you would hear it spinning, and his shirt would have oil on it. Because you put oil, like 3-in-1 oil. And when you spin it, the shirt he would have like a streak going from the bicycle, from the fucking, all his shirts had the same fucking streak on it from the oil. So, you know, every time I go out, he'd go, Cokes, what are you doing? I'd go nothing. He'd go, Cokes, take this bike for a ride. When they tell you to take a bike for a ride, that didn't mean to go to the top of the fucking hill and come all the way down 90 miles an hour. That was to ride sitting down, right, under control, to ride the bike sitting down just to see how it felt. And then you stood up and you pedaled, you know, and then you brought the bike back and you go, Valentine, it felt pretty good. And then he'd have like 3 of us try it. Like he was, you know, me, Michael, and Dominic, or Anthony. He'd have 3 of us try the fucking bicycle. I get on the bicycle one day, and I come out one day, and he's got a bicycle. He's got a 10-speed, a regular silver 10-speed. He had just finished painting it. It was silver with black tape on the handlebars. It was like an English racer. Like a long thing like that. Something that we had never seen before. At that time, we were still into these fucking things, you know. He had an English racer, and it was a black, nice seat with black electrical tape on the handlebars. He put silver caps at the end. I mean, Valentine was a bad motherfucker. And he spray painted the bike silver. I didn't think twice of it. I come out, Valentine, what's happening? Mr. Otino was out there. What's going on, Otino? Puerto Rican Charlie, whatever, the Puerto Rican fag I told you, the Puerto Rican Nelson was out there. I come out, and I'm not thinking anything. He goes, Joey, Coco, you want to I was taking a bike out. And he goes, no, I want you to take this bike out, see what you think. I take the fucking bike, and I go for a ride. I come back, he goes, what do you think? I go, I dig the fucking bike, but I think there's something wrong with the handlebars. He gets the big wrench, and he fucking whatever. He goes, take it again. I go, okay. I take the ride, I go downhill, and I make a left this time, and I could see again that when I made the left, there was some hesitation in the steering. So I go, let me keep going. It was 38th Street Park, Gibbonette Terrace, Charles Court, then Liberty Avenue. All the action was on Charles Court. Liberty had a little bit of action for kids, Vanacek's, Phillips, Vinny Neglia, Vinny Warhead, not really, the Canellas, but everybody would meet in the middle in Charles Court. So I take my bike, I go to Charles Court. Again, I need to do another left. When I make the fucking left up that block again, I see there's something wrong with the bike. I hear kids playing. I go to the top of the block. It's Charles Court. There's 16 kids out there, girls, and they always were doing something, fucking stickball or buck or hide the fucking kick the can. They were always doing something. So I put the bike down without thinking anything of it. And now Charles Court is a cul-de-sac with a middle. In the middle is an island that has two houses on it. One facing that way and one facing the other way. No big deal. I go up the corner here and I'm on this side. Let's pretend this is the island. It comes all the way down, and then this is where it leads off back to the streets and you could go over to either the park or whatever, but it was basically a cul-de-sac with a little island. And it was such a big block that 3 sets of kids could be playing on it and nobody would know. I could have a set of kids at 3 o'clock, which was usually the case. The Robsons lived at 1 o'clock. Sabatino lived at 12 o'clock. There was kids that lived next to him, I said them before, the ones that were the Iceman's friend's son. And then there was Alona Mertens and the Arizas that went down this block here. Okay? So you could have 20 kids playing at once. Nikki was the girl that I dated, that I was in love with, that now I was over with. She had gone her way, and I had gone my way. We were still dear friends. Her brother was still part of our little bike crew. I don't think her brother was there that day. I think her brother was riding motorcycles with Frank, and we were on the bike, because Albie was a year or two older than me. I was the same age as Nikki. Now that we have gotten let back, we were still the same age. She was just in the 8th grade, and I was in the 7th grade. We had a cool relationship, obviously. We played basketball. I played basketball. She was my cheerleader. Nothing bad happened. We got along. We went to the movies together. We got slices of pizza together. Our 7th grade year, obviously, we went 0-7. It was the worst season of our school's fucking life. So, boom, no big fucking deal. Everything was cool. We're playing. It's got to be March, April, around there, because it was still beautiful. It was a beautiful day out, and I don't know what we're playing. I love to lie to you. I don't know what we're playing, and somebody yells, "Cokes, we're going for a bike ride. Nikki's taking your bike." So I'm on the other side. I'm on by Sabatino, and I go, "What the fuck are you saying?" And he goes, "We're going for a bike ride. Nikki's taking your bike." I go, "No," because the bike, the handlebar was loose. So instead of me chasing them that way, I tried to cut them off the long way. It wasn't even a longer way. It was the same distance. I tried to cut them off at the bottom before they got to Union Turnpike. That's the main street to go back and forth. My job was I was going to cut her off and go, "Nikki, be careful." All I wanted to do was to tell her that the bike was off. Okay? That's it. Just before you get on that bike, Mike, the fucking steering wheel is off. Don't come crying to me. I know how to handle it. I know I've been riding these fucked up bikes forever, but I don't know what she's thinking. We all rode bikes together, but still, let's just be safe than sorry. As I'm running for them, they think that, how people run away from you when you're a kid, like, "Oh, he's coming to get us, boo," and whatever. So I'm running towards her and Sabatino and whoever else is on the bike. And as I run towards her, she looks up at me, and sure enough, she's going to make a right. The thing gets stuck, and right for 12 feet from me, I see the bike twist, and I just see her go over the handlebar, and I see the bike land on top of her. Guys, she fucking goes over the handlebar. The bike lands on top of her. She actually gets up and looks around, and we're like, "Are you okay?" And then after she said, "Yeah," we kind of fucking giggled. We're kids. We're like, "That was a tremendous fall." You know how kids would, this is what kids would do. "That's a great fall. Holy shit. Are you okay?" So we picked her up. We got her up. She was fine. She got back on the bike. I go, "I wasn't chasing you to not let you know. I was chasing you to tell you that the handlebar was fucked up. This is what I was chasing you for. I wasn't chasing you because I didn't want you riding the bike. I don't give a fuck if you ride the bike." Nothing happened. Everybody witnessed what I witnessed. Everybody that was on those bikes, let's say at that time there were 6 kids on that bike. Nikki was number 7. I was number 8. 8 of us witnessed what happened. As a matter of fact, after she fell and the bike landed on top of her was when all of us got there with the bikes. We all missed the fall by 5 seconds. And we're like, "Are you okay?" And she was looking around. And then we're like, "What the fuck, Nikki?" And that's when everybody started giggling in the circle. We picked her up, took her home. I never thought nothing of it. I never thought nothing of it. Next day I go to fucking school. I fucking get into my 7th grade fucking classroom that I got left back in. Barone was my teacher, as a matter of fact. She was in the 8th grade. I was in the 7th grade. And Mr. Brown pulls me out in the hallway and he goes, "Did you hear about your girlfriend?" And I go, "No, I don't have a girlfriend." He goes, "You know what I'm talking about, Nikki Ariza. Did you hear about it?" And I go, "No, what happened?" And she goes, "She's in critical condition in the hospital. She had a blood clot in the middle of the night. They had to take her to the hospital, emergency blood clot, and she's on life support. She's going to fucking die." And everything in me fucking stopped. I mean, I loved that girl. I was over her, but I loved her the same way I love Kate Quigley today, the same way I love Felicia. I learned at an early age that you can't fuck everybody. That's why I still talk to Gina. That's why I still talk to Lisa Messina. That's why I still talk to all those girls. Because at an early age, I realized that you can't fuck everybody. You gotta have females as your friends. They enhance your life. I felt really bad about the Nikki thing when they told me in school that morning. So right from school, I went right to her fucking house, knocked on the door. Her mother was there. They asked me what had happened. I told her what happened. We were all there. Other kids had come in to check. Like a bunch of us went over to see what the hell had happened to New Yorker. We all told her what happened. She didn't remember. She was in a coma, so we waited for a couple days, and she came out of a coma, and then I think they didn't allow us to see us. She didn't want nobody to see her in the hospital because they had to shave her head. So, I'm not thinking anything of it, guys. I'm just feeling bad about this girl. She's in a coma. She's coming home. When she comes home, we all go over there. I went out of my way. I bought a box of exotic fucking fish. Those, the nice red ones. I didn't just buy it.
Fish?
Yeah, in those days, before COVID and shit, you went up to the Chinese store and you stuck your hand in the thing, in a bag. You counted out. I bought 25 fish, and you paid them 25 cents, whatever. I went above and beyond. I bought her roses. I bought her a case of the goldfish. We all chipped in and got her a card, the whole fucking thing. And I went over there, and the mother was cool. Everybody was cool. We all talked. I'm sorry. She had the bandage on. And then the mother took me again downstairs and said, "So tell me what happened again." And she goes, "Listen, she got on a fucking bike. The bike was around, the steering wheels weren't working right. And we chased her to tell her that the steering wheel wasn't working right. She thought we were chasing her to get her off the bike, and she went over the bike. And that was it. It ended at that, guys. That was it. Do you know, like fucking 3 days later, I go to fucking school, and one of the teachers pulls me aside and he goes, "We need to talk." And he goes, "This kid came in," and he goes that he didn't see it, but from his angle, he thought that you might have pushed her or whatever. And I go, that wasn't the case, because we were never there. We all saw the thing. He goes, well, he says, well, from where he was watching. I go, yeah. We got there as she had landed already, and the bike had fallen on top of her. And that was it. I go, no, nobody pushed her. That's a lie. Nobody pushed her. Nobody could even push her. Nobody was close to her. But then the rumor started getting out. Coco must have pushed her. Coco must have pushed her. Coco must have pushed her. Guys, to this day, I'm telling you, I didn't push her. I even went to Nikki. And I go, "Nikki, let me ask you a question. Did I push you?" And she goes, "You couldn't have pushed me because you were 10 feet away from me." She goes, "The last thing I remember is looking at you and flying in the air." Boom. That's it. I graduate. I go to the 8th grade. She goes to the freshman year. Now, let me tell you how good looking this girl is freshman year of high school. She wins homecoming queen with no hair. That's how beautiful this girl was. I love this girl with all my fucking heart. Love her with all my heart. Wanted to sleep with her. Wanted her for her to be my first girlfriend. The whole thing. Brother, it just didn't happen. Okay, so we're friends. I get to high school. I see her in high school every day. We talk. We share weed. We share money. The whole thing. What I'm telling you now is the jokey side of it that you're going to think it's a joke that I told on Joe Rogan. When she recovered from that surgery, before the surgery, she was just a skinny 13-year-old girl. When she recovered from the surgery, the bad part of that surgery was whatever part hit her brain made her tits grow. I wish this was a joke. And I mean not make her tits grow to nice tits. I mean, they were like triple D, and then on the flip side, she became, what's the word? When you become kind of hoary. She started sleeping with a lot of guys. The reputation promiscuous. The reputation on the word got out that she started sleeping with a lot of guys. Okay? So my mother dies. We're still friends. My mother dies in 79. This all went down in 77, 76. My mother dies in 79. I move in with the Benders. In 1980, I'm supposed to graduate high school in 82. She's supposed to graduate in 81. Hear me out. I'm sitting at the Benders watching football one night, and the door knocks. And Mr. Bender goes, "There's a broad waiting for you at the door." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? No girl has ever called for me. I thought this was a mistake." When I go for the door, it's Tricky Nicky. With big tits on, a mini skirt, fucking looking tremendous. I go, "What's happening?" And she goes, "Can we talk for a minute?" And she tells me this guy that she was dating was going to take her to the prom if I could take her to the prom instead. Between me and you guys, I was so, this had to be 81, right? I was on drugs, I was on acid every day. I was still living with the Benders, so it was before I got thrown out of the Benders, April of 81. So I was still living with the Benders, obviously. And she's like, "Would you take me to the prom?" and all this stuff. She goes, "If you take me to the prom, I will fuck you to death." And I'm like, guys, I was scared. I'm not going to lie to you guys. She was way advanced. I could tell she had just gone on from age. She was a woman. She was fucking men already. That was her thing, that she wasn't dating high school guys. She was fucking men. That's why she said that the guy that's supposed to take her to the prom, couldn't take her because fucking, I don't know, his fucking wife, I don't know. So I'm like, yeah, you're gonna fuck my brains out? I mean, oh my God, she's telling me all this stuff. She's gonna suck my dick. At that time, I had never gotten a blowjob or nothing like that. I'm like, wow. She scared me so much that I hid from her. Like, I hid from her. Like, I'm like, you know what? After further consideration, I'm not messing around with this chick. This is not gonna happen. So I told her some excuse about fucking why I couldn't take her to the prom. But it just wasn't for me. I didn't even went to my own proms. I'm gonna take some girl to the fucking prom. I told her I couldn't go, and I didn't go to the prom, and that was it. Never saw her again. Maybe saw her a year after that. I saw her in the neighborhood. Blah 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 blah. Facebook, fucking MySpace opens up one day, and like we all did, we all went on MySpace and we saw people, and one day, who do I see? But Nikki in a ninja fucking suit on, right? With like only her eyes, and she's like doing karate things, and I'm like, is that who I think it is? And I read the profile, and sure enough, I look in the pictures, and it's her. And I don't know what we did in Facebook, on MySpace, and on those days, if we friended people,
I think you just followed
them or whatever. I followed them, and I think a week later, I got this fucking huge note from her saying that I ruined her life. That her life was never the same. She could never hold a relationship with a fucking man because of what I did to her and all this. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm thinking this is like a girl from Boulder. Like, maybe I dated a girl in Boulder and she got it wrong, and maybe, no, this is who this was. So I immediately, hey man, I don't know what the fuck is your problem, but I loved you. I mean, what is your fucking problem? And she goes, well, I thought about it throughout the years, and I felt that maybe you did push me. And I'm like, no, you didn't say that. So fucking the next day, you know me, dog, listen, they're going to shoot accusations at you every day, right? You could do two things. If they're real, you could address them. If you're fake, whatever. Me, the ones that piss me off are the ones that are completely fake. If I did something, I'll cop to it. You know me. If I did something, I'll cop to it. I don't give a Frenchman's fuck. What are you going to do now? I'm 58 years old. What were you going to do back then? I mean, I was one of those guys. When I was 28, I already had it. But I already knew that you're not going to accuse me of something. You're just not going to fucking accuse me. And none of you guys, nobody knew about this. Nobody knew about this. This is just so, before you read an accusation next time, or you read it with this type of mind, an open fucking mind, because this is what happens to people. Dog, I lived it. I have fucking lived it. So I had to call a friend of mine the next day from that neighborhood and go, hey, do you still talk to her? Call her up and see if we could exchange numbers and talk. My girlfriend called me, that girl called me a week later, and she goes, I took her out to coffee, blah, 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 blah. She feels that you were chasing her. I don't know what the fuck she felt, but her life has never been the same, and she put that fucking accusation on you. And I go, can I ask you a question? You were there that day. And she goes, yes, I was. I remember how hard that bike landed on her. I go, do you, in your heart, did you see me push her? And she goes, from where I was standing, nobody was close to her. Nobody was close to her. Not even by a fucking long shot were they close to her. So she goes, I want you to do me a favor. I don't want you to ever think about this again. This is why, till today, I understand accusations, but I don't like them, and I don't like downtime, because it lets you think of those stories. Like, I've thought about that story 10 million times, and I still had to check my heart, to see if I could do something like that. There was no way. But in her mind, her life had become such a shitbowl that it retracted back to me in 75 with a bike fucking incident. And you know what? I got so crazy about that situation, I interviewed like 6 people. Like, I recalled people, talked to them a little bit, and then said, hey, man, I got to talk to you about something. Do you remember when she fell off the bike? And they were like, yep, we were all there. I go, did you? All of them. Anybody who was there. I think I conjured up 4 witnesses, 5 witnesses. 3 of them were girls. They were like, nobody was even close to her. When she landed, we all swooped up on her and picked her up. We were all that got there on the same time. Today she doesn't want to be my friend, whatever. It hurts my feelings. It does, because we were so tight growing up. But on the other hand, it just lets you know about accusations. Fuck. I fucking hate them. And it's not just towards me. It's towards anybody, because I understand what you're feeling when you didn't do something and you got falsely accused. People who sit in fucking... What about people who sit in fucking prisons for 30 years? Until some poor little white dude comes up with a stitch of DNA. You ever see it? It's always a black dude who's in jail, and it's always a white dude who gets a piece of DNA to save his fucking life. Think of something like that happen to you. So that's why when it comes to accusations, guys, at any level, whether it be he sent me a text message, to he did this, to he touched me, any of those accusations I react to, because it sucks being falsely accused of something. Until this day, it hurts my fucking feelings. Until this day, I'm like, maybe I have something coming back to me karmically because of that. But I could look you in the fucking eye and tell you that nobody touched that chick. And in fact, if anybody would have saw me touch her, anybody in that neighborhood, they would have raised their hand, because that's the type of neighborhood we're from. We'll tell you the fucking truth. So when I talk to you people about accusations, next time you read an accusation about something that happened 30 fucking years ago, think of 2 things. I don't know if you've ever read the Sammy the Bull book. Sammy the Bull has an interesting fucking book. The one that he sold, that he made the money from. He has an interesting chapter in that book. And it's about after he joined the Gambinos, he went and had to be somebody's understudy. He had to be this guy's understudy. Every day, the guy made him report to him. The guy was an older Italian guy, and all the guy cared about in those days was fucking fruit and growing vegetables. I forget what the guy's name is in the book. He had his fucking cigar, and he had his feet. Goes, whenever you went to see him, he'd have his feet rolled up, his pants rolled up in the mud. This is why I'm using this story, just so this is how I look at things. He said that he got to become a gangster under him because this Tato Aurelio, that was the guy's name, was Tato. Tato taught him 2 things. Tato taught him one thing that was very important that I learned growing up, okay? He said that while he was there, every day somebody would come in with a beef. Like Mike would come in and go, fucking Joey took me on the road. He was supposed to give me $500, but instead he gave me $400. You know, he fucking ripped me off. And then Tato would go, all right, Mike, go home. Let me talk to Joey the next day and see what Joey has to say, you know. And without Mike's knowledge, Joey would come the next day and Tato would ask him, what happened? Why is Mike mad at you? And he goes, I took him on the road and I paid him. He said that you said you were going to give him $500, but you ended up giving him $400. I go, no. Ask him again. I told him that if I sold out the shows, I'd give him $500. I didn't sell out the shows. That's why I gave him the $400, but I still paid him his dough. I still paid for all his dinners, and I still took great care of him. The next day, Tato sends for Mike, and he goes, I had Joey here yesterday. He enjoyed your company. He loved you to death. He said everything went great. He said that he said to you, yes, he'll pay you $500 if he sold out. And then the guy would go, oh, I didn't fucking hear that part. And he goes, you know, from sitting there all those years and watching that, I started doing something extra, and that's listening. Listening to two sides and see where bro, there's two sides to every fucking story. Okay? I don't know if you guys watched last week. There was a big thing going on with Carlos on Bobby Lee. Guys, I fucking love Carlos Mencia. I love Carlos. Carlos, in the very, very beginning, helped me out a lot. I don't like, and you know how I feel about Bobby. I love Bobby to fucking death. I don't like, it's a beaten record. It happened 20 years ago. Move on with your life. What I don't like about it is that still, after 20 years, Carlos is still like weaving.
Yeah.
He's chucking and jiving. Carlos, we love you. It's been 20 years. Just say, yes, I stole the joke and move on. I watched that. Somebody called me and said, did you watch Carlos on Bobby Lee? At least Bobby Lee had the balls to fucking confront him. I go, I tried to confront him during the warm-ups of, like when somebody comes to a podcast and you're setting up the lights and you ask them, where am I sitting? I confronted him then. I go, let's talk about the joke stealing. And he looked at me and he's like, what joke stealing are you talking about? And I was like, I'm not even going to go there. Like, after all these years, if you're still fucking banging your head, saying to yourself, I was not involved in it, I can't talk. They even did a documentary and put you on it and called you a joke thief and whatever. I'm not mad at Carlos. I don't care about Carlos. Carlos is a nice guy. He worked it out, whatever. He still goes out and does comedy. He's a fucking road warrior. I don't care. But even the other day listening to it, they hated me because Mitzi gave me the name Ned. I started running the light because Dice and Mooney were running the light. Well, why it came from, you don't do what everybody else does. You do what you do, so they go along with you. Like, I could walk off here, and you could contact the store, ask them. In 23 years, did I ever run the fucking light? One time, by mistake, I ran the light. I got involved in a joke. I ran the light. I got off stage. I apologized to the comic. And when the comic got off stage, I apologized to him again. I apologized to the chick in the booth. I apologized to Jeff. I apologized to everybody. When you run the light, it's very disrespectful. But that's not what we're here for. We're here talking about accusations. If you got accused of something, you got two options. You could either fucking lie, or you could say, yes, this is how I did it. This is why I did it. Let's move the fuck on. And life is done. But for you to sit there and stuff all these years, for me, with the Nikki thing, it makes me want to cry. Like, why I almost broke down and cried before when I was telling you the story, because I cared for her that much. I cared for her that much. If she was just a girl and I fucked or whatever, no, I cared about her that much. And I cared for her more after I dated her because I realized how much of a fucking jerk-off I was for falling in love. I was too young for falling in love. But the point of all this is accusations. Accusations fucking suck. But let's go to the main course of this whole thing was, where there's smoke, there's fire. So also remember that. Now, if we were sitting here having a conversation of 3 chicks flying through bikes around me, it's pretty tough to Joey to get himself out of that one. Not that I'm getting myself out of anything. I'm just explaining to you how it goes. When I got accused in 85 of robbing Joanne Liggio's house, a very dear friend of mine, again, what year is it right now? 2021. This was 1985. That means we're going to go on 36 years ago. It was robbed during the night of a fucking football dinner or some shit, which they usually do in January or February. I was accused of it. I lived in Cresskill, New Jersey. I called the cop, North Bergen police, the next day when they accused me. I said, I got a fucking alibi. I don't know what time they stole it, but I couldn't have robbed it because there's 3 different fucking people looking to kill me in North Bergen. I'm not going to North Bergen, especially to rob a family I know. But they had the balls to say I robbed them. They made the accusation. Some people believed them. Some people didn't. But guess what? I never got mad at the people that believed them. I never got mad at the people who took their chance, who took their back. Why do you think? Because where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm a fucking thief. So, yes, I robbed Michael's. I had robbed a couple things. Now, I got no leg to stand on. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So where there's smoke, there's fire. So next time an accusation comes out about an actor, a comic, a fireman, somebody close to you, I don't give a fuck. It's true. Use logic first before you make your final before you go in there with your words. I see people condemning people online, and this is what pisses me off. I want you, before you agree with that accusation or disagree with that accusation, I want you to think about both fucking sides. Think of both sides. Think of the accuser and the chick or the man accusing them. Think of how the fuck they feel. Maybe they didn't do it. Maybe there was a chance that they didn't do it. Did you ever think of that? I always, before I fucking dive into something, I always like to look around, check around. It's like when I found out about Ron Jeremy. Did I rip him off my wall? I didn't have him on my wall, on the podcast. No. I talked to 2 different porno producers who told me horrible stories that I did not know about, that you didn't know about, that nobody knew about. That gave me the power to rip that picture down of Ron Jeremy. But I didn't rip it down before that, just because once they arrested him, you're coming down. Once I hear stories and they get confirmed, then I make my fucking hypothesis, which basically is an educated guess, and I attack. So even when they tried to go after me this year, if you look at that video, there's so many things you could attack. What are you attacking? What are you attacking? Was it Joe Rogan laughing? Was it 20 women? Was it sucking my dick before the joke? Yeah. You didn't even know what you were attacking. You didn't even know what you were accusing. I'm accusing him of laughing. I want you to think about it 9 months later, that they were accusing poor Joe of laughing. Of laughing. That's how bad of a time we got. And he addressed it. I don't give a fuck. I laughed. So what? Who gives a fuck? And they moved the fuck on. And that's what the problem is today. You get accused of something, you didn't fucking do it, you fucking stand up and you fight for yourself. The same way I've done for years. I've done 1,000 things. If you come at me right now and accuse me of kidnapping, can't do it. Well, you can't accuse. I've never been accused of kidnapping. I've been accused of kidnapping, but not convicted of kidnapping. That's a big motherfucking story. I've been convicted of burglary. Big fucking story. So if you accuse me on a burglary, if you say to me right now, Joey, my house got robbed across the street right here in Jersey, yeah, I could be a suspect because robbery was in my fucking circle, you understand me? But no, don't accuse me of something that I wasn't, like a tree jumper or something like that. That sucks, being accused of a tree jumper, rape, and all that shit. That shit sucks. So next time you buy into one of those things, before you buy into it, do all the fucking research you can, okay? In my case, I did research for all these guys that you couldn't do, because I was living in LA at the time, and I could ask around and I could see. You people are just going off assumptions and videos and whatnot. Get the full story. Next time a comic comes to your town, go to that show, pay for a ticket, invite him out to dinner, talk to him, get his opinion on it, and see what the fuck went down and what didn't go down. This is why I don't like accusations and I don't believe in them. And that's the fucking podcast. It's Monday, the 18th of January. It's Martin Luther King Day, one of the greatest men of all fucking time. He set us fucking free. He straightened us out until fucking whatever. Anyway, who gives a fuck about all that shit? I just want to bring you to church today on a Monday, let you know I'm doing great. I'm feeling great. And that's a story you didn't know about me. A lot of people didn't know about me. That till today, it bothers me. And the bother of that was that it was a false claim. If it was true, fuck it. It's true. It doesn't bother me. There's a lot of things I've been accused of that I didn't do. And that I was so far off the path of doing that it didn't even make sense. Again, if somebody robs you, if something's missing in your house, I'm a suspect. I can't get myself out of that one. That's the fucking facts. I love you cocksuckers. Have a great fucking Monday. Have a great week. We're on Patreon if you want to see the album of the week. Last week, I don't know what the fuck it was. I don't know what it's going to be this week. But we're just having a good time over there, motherfuckers. I don't know what my next stand-up date is. We're just trying to get up through all this fucking COVID. All I know is I'm going to try hard this week and finish my first chapter. I'm maybe a paragraph or two away. It took me 3 weeks to finish a chapter. I should be ashamed of myself. But, dog, I did it thanks to you guys. So if you're writing a book, maybe we could write this together. We're all in the same doghouse. We all bleed when we get cut. I love you guys with all my heart. Welcome to week 3 of January, and I will let you know. I will post it exactly when I'm finished with the first chapter. But here's the sad thing about it. As I looked at the book last night, there's like 18 more chapters. I'm in fucking hell. I'm never going to finish this. But anyway, I love you guys with all my heart. I'm going to stick to this. This is my goal for 2021, and this is a goal we'll be sharing together. If you want to tweet me and let me know your goals, be more than welcome. If not, go fuck yourself. Have a great week. Uncle Joey loves you. And now for a word from our motherfucking sponsors. All right, you cocksuckers, I want to thank you again for listening to the church. We had a good time. I got to talk to you some shit that nobody's ever heard before, but you heard it today. Hey, anyway, before I get out of here, the joint has been brought to you by ExpressVPN. Like I told you in the beginning, you've been in lockdown for almost a fucking year. I think you've seen everything on Netflix already by now, right or wrong. But with ExpressVPN, you can trick the computer into thinking you're in a different country, and you'll be able to watch just about anything in the world. You already know a VPN will protect your privacy online, but it's taken my TV watching game to the next level. Better yet, my wife fucking loves this shit. Between the horror shows and the English movies, unlock movies and TV shows that are only available in other countries. And it works with any service in over 100 countries. For example, Netflix, Amazon, YouTube, BBC, you name it, they fucking got it. Like I said to you, my wife goes upstairs to a little nook at night. Sometimes I go upstairs and I hear these fucking English people jumping, and that's what she's watching. Something on ExpressVPN. And it's ridiculously fast. It streams in HD, and there's no buffering, and it works for every person and every device in your home. It's as easy as pie to use. Even a guy like me, I'm a fucking dumb fuck. Just push one button to change your location, and you're watching Rick and Morty and fucking Friends. Are you kidding me or what? Use my special link right now. Here it is. Grab it. Grab a pen. expressvpn.com/Joey. And you can get an extra 3 months for free. Did I just say free? Yeah. Fucking free. Support the joint. Watch what the fuck you want. Protect your privacy. All under one fucking umbrella. expressvpn.com/Joey. The joint is also brought to you by, you ready for this word? Money, bitches. A.K.A. DraftKings. UFC 257. McGregor, Poirier. And there's a couple other fights on the card that are tremendous. But forget this. This is what DraftKings is doing for you this Saturday. McGregor steps back into the ring, right? If you want a piece of history, you're going to go to DraftKings. Not only are they fucking the best sports app around, but they're also the official betting partner of the UFC. And this weekend they got a deal nobody else can match for you. Are you ready? Listen to this one. Just for UFC 257, it's your shot at turning $1 into $257. That's right, it's that easy. You bet McGregor to win by knockout in the first round. And if he does, you bet you be cashing in $257 fucking dollars. That's a gram of blow, a half a blowjob, and a bag of weed and some fucking cocktails. All right, there you go on you. Nobody knows nothing. You bet a little, and you win a lot, and then you win a lot. You know how we do it at DraftKings. But don't get distracted, because I'll tell you what, you're still in the middle of the NFL playoffs, and you still got NBA basketball tonight. We're going to make some money. We got 3 TNT games alone. Plus, we got a couple other NBA games, plus a couple college games. And all you need to do is pick one winner to get your bankroll started. You roll into Saturday, you're already up 500-600. Bam, you pick up your 257. Who needs fucking unemployment? Tell Biden to shove that check up his ass. You're making real paper. So head over to DraftKings right now, America's top-rated sportsbook, to check out all their promotions. And if you haven't tried it yet, what the fuck are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Now, it's safe, secure, reliable, and most important, it's your fucking money. Deposit and withdraw at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sports app today, right now. Use promo code Joey, Joey. You cannot be that stupid. Joey, and turn $1 into $257 if McGregor wins by first round knockout. Nice or no? That's fucking beautiful. Place your bet and watch the fist fucking fly this weekend. That's code Joey for new players to get $257 if McGregor wins by first round knockout. And it's a limited time only. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook right now. But listen, let's not worry about Saturday. Let's worry about how you're going to make some paper tonight. Because as far as I'm concerned, Monday is fun day. We're starting tonight with 3 TNT games. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, press in code Joey, and lock yourself in for UFC history with $257. $1 turns into $257. That's better than the fucking picket. And here we go. Here's the part the lawyers make me read. You got to be 21 or older. Go get a skateboard. Go do something. Go get a Playboy magazine and make your face turn red. You ain't gambling here. New Jersey, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Colorado, Tennessee. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Now, if you got a gambling problem, that's a different story. There's help. You got to call 1-800-GAMBLER. And if you're in Indiana, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. I don't want you lurking around here with a fucking kiss of death problem. But if you're all clear, fuck it. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code Joey, and let's make some fucking cash the third week of January. I want to thank DraftKings. I want to thank ExpressVPN. But most importantly, I want to thank you motherfuckers for always having my back. Stay black. Have a good fucking week. And I'll see you Wednesday morning. Tip-top motherfucking Magoo. There you go. Who the fuck you think you're dealing with?